Good afternoon, morning, whatever time of day it is, everyone. And this is the F-15MX, which is a new arrival to the Malagasy What If Armed Forces. The MX is, of course, a version of the EX or the QA, but it has some slight modifications. So instantly we can see it's got a canted tail for kind of some radar cross-section reduction and just so it looks cool. It also has, compared to the original Malagasy EF-15Gs, which operate the F-110, 429, I think they are, 400 engines. It has F-119 engines to give commonality with the Mantella fleet and the F-32 fleet. So a bit of a change and also commonality with the new Tomcats. But the whole idea of this aircraft is really, I started off with the Growler version, the EF-15G, which in its own right is a very capable strike aircraft. You can see it's got a 500-pound glide bomb, sniper pod. It can carry AIM-132 missiles and AIM-120 missiles for self-defense, but it's mainly the jamming aircraft there. It can carry some seed weaponry as well. But the MX is designed as a high-end, heavy air superiority or ground attack platform. And it's based on this old Academy kit, which is a fairly fiddly kit, in all honesty. And I've added some additions to it. So I've added, in addition to canting the tailplanes, I've added some more warning systems on the back there, a SATCOM thing there, two enlarged tail bits here to give the missile alert warning system and stuff like that. And then these fat pylons, or I should say large pylons on the side there, would have the towed decoy, AEWC 55 towed decoys in there, and or chaff and flare dispensers, and then some chaff and flare dispensers underneath. This one is kitted out full of heavy fighter roll, so we've got an AIM-174B gunslinger on each wing, and instead of the sniper pod and external pods which have drag, I've gone to the EOTS system here. So it's got the EOTS system there, which takes care of all of that targeting in formation. I did find this kit quite difficult to build, but the idea is that these are heavy fighters for ground attack or for air missions, and this one is done and configured for supporting the Mantellas. So whereas my Mantellas have been carrying some missiles like the Super Phoenix externally, well, the idea is that the F-15 is the fullback to those, for want of a better term, the quarterback even, and the Mantella will operate clean, find the targets, or the AEWC, the G550 AEWC, hand off the solutions to the F-15MXs, which will then engage in a salvo of missiles. And as you can see, this one's carrying the two AIM-174B gunslingers, which are long-range anti-AWACS missiles, and then it's got 6 AIM-120s on it and the two AIM-9Xs. So the F-15 is a fantastic fighter still to this day. With those engines, it gains 20% more thrust than even the EX, so this is a real hot ship. But the F-119 engine is actually really quite efficient, so it's not sacrificing or burning through huge amounts of range. The CFTs help with range, and really what I was doing for many months in my What If many years was building like Chinese fighters like the J-15 and the J-10, and the bad lieutenant really pointed out to me that actually globally that wasn't the best thing to do, and certainly if I was doing that I'd be walking straight into Trumpian King Trump sanctions. So what I've done is I've gone, okay, rethought the whole thing, rethought my whole needs. I've got the Mantellas, the top end. You wouldn't have Mantellas and J10s. The Americans would sanction you to pieces. So the Mantellas, my F-32s, I've made sure that everything's pivoting really back to the rules-based order, back to Trumpian transactional administration, and the F-15MX is a big purchase, 24 to 36 aircraft in the What If, and the idea is that this is my missile carrier to free up the Mantellas to do what they do. These aircraft are more than capable of dogfighting, especially with that extra power, and they'll be working both in this air-to-air role and in this ground attack role. I may do the second one in the ground attack role, and the idea is it just brings a new capability to the force, which has been missing really since the F-4E Super Phantom, which is my Israeli upgraded one, the PW1120 engines, left the force. So these are heavyweight fighters, but they are absolutely superb, and I'm glad to say the Eagle has finally landed. The scheme is Valley-Ho USN Light Ghost Grey underneath, airbrushed, and then I airbrush medium gunship grey on the top. Radome is dark gold grey, I think it is, and custom decals for my Malagasy whatifians. This is the Thick Shark, Thick Boxy Squadron. My son chooses the names. Some low-vis new roundels, and of course it's going with the Holy Hand Grenadiers of Antioch. So one more to build. Not the easiest kit, quite an old kit, but I hope you like the F-15MX Eagle.